Welcome to the deep dive. We've got uh, quite a stack of recent articles and notes here,
Yeah.
all looking at the really fast-moving world of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it feels like you blink and something new has happened.
Exactly. So our mission today is to really, dive into this material, unpack what's going on, and pull out the key developments and insights for you.
And it's been busy. We're talking major tech company moves, robotics, creative tools, even some pretty serious debates about AI's impact.
Right. So we'll hit some big acquisitions, new Google models, AI showing up in everyday stuff like shopping, and definitely get into that whole copyright discussion.
Lots to cover. Let's jump right in.
Okay, first up, some serious money. A really big acquisition that caught my eye. OpenAI has apparently acquired Jony's AI device startup called IO.
Yeah, that one's interesting. Not just because of IVE, but the price tag. The sources we looked at put it at, get this, $6.5 billion.
6.5 billion. Wow.
Which, according to the notes, makes it OpenAI's biggest reported acquisition ever.
That's that's way more than just buying a company. That feels like buying a whole new direction, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
pairing OpenAI's brain with Ive's design chops.
It absolutely suggests a serious move towards, consumer hardware,
Right.
maybe dedicated AI
Could
devices.
be bypassing phones, maybe. A whole new way to interact with AI.
It points that way. And speaking of big money and physical AI, there's also movement in robotics. Ray Kurzweil's startup, Beyond Imagination, they're looking for more funding.
Kurzweil, right. Always interesting to see what he's involved in. What kind of funding are they after?
Looks like they're aiming for a $100 million Series B round.
Okay, 100 million.
Yeah.
And the valuation target,
That would put them at about $500 million, reportedly.
half a billion. What does that tell us about how investors are seeing the sort of industrial robot space right now?
It definitely signals strong interest, especially for specific applications. Beyond Imagination, co-founded with Harry Clore, isn't really going for the general home robot yet.
Right.
Their focus is humanoid robots, but for tough industrial settings. Think factories, pharmaceutical plants, semiconductor manufacturing.
Okay, so places where precision and maybe safety are big factors.
Yeah.
The robot itself, that's the Beyond Bot.
That's the one. Designed for those kinds of environments. And the sources mention it uses AI models for complex tasks, specific to industry.
Makes sense.
And they're also building this thing called the Aura operating system. The idea is like a universal OS for humans, robots, and even existing machines to work together.
Interesting. So focusing on industrial ROI, not just general purpose. But it sounds like a crowded field.
Oh, definitely. The sources point out they're up against names like Figure, Tesla, Engine. So yeah, the race for capable humanoid robots, especially in industry, is heating up.
Okay, so from robots back to the purely digital side,
Mm-hmm.
Google DeepMind. They've been showing off some new tools and models.
They certainly have. There were updates to Gemini, specifically Gemini 2.5. It's apparently really good at handling multimodal information, text, images, audio together.
All right, multimodal. And reasoning, coding too.
Yeah, strong on those fronts as well. But they also talked quite a bit about diffusion models.
Ah, yeah, the source had a neat analogy for that, didn't it? Like a magic eraser.
Exactly. It's a good way to think about it. It's described as, taking a messy, noisy blob and sort of magically erasing the noise to reveal a clear picture or sound or even text.
Okay, how does that erasing part actually work?
Well, the process is kind of cool. You start with a clear image, say. Then you add noise step by step until it's just static. That's the forward part.
Right.
The AI learns the reverse of that, how to take the static and carefully remove the noise step by step to get back to the clear image.
Okay, so it learns how to undo the mess.
Precisely. And once it knows how to do that, it can start with new random noise and essentially run the process in reverse to create totally new images or music or whatever.
Got it. So it learns structure by deconstructing noise, then applies that to construct new things. What are the typical uses?
Well, the sources mention things like creating music, those AI voices you hear, AI art, obviously, even helping design things like medicines.
And Google's take is Gemini diffusion. How's that different?
So while diffusion often focuses on images or audio, Gemini diffusion is apparently really good at generating text and helping with things like math problems and writing code.
Using that same noise to structure idea for language and logic.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
And Google's goal, according to the sources, is to make these diffusion models perform these tasks, like coding, much faster than the transformer models we're used to.
Faster performance. Interesting. And alongside creating stuff, they also released a tool for detection.
Right, Synthy Detector. It's designed to help spot content that was made using Google's own AI tools. A nod towards transparency, I guess.
Makes sense. And sticking with media, some filmmaking tools too?
Yeah, Google Flow was mentioned. It's described as an AI filmmaking tool that pulls together their Veo, Imagen, and Gemini models. And specifically, Google Veo 3 was highlighted because it can apparently create video with synchronized audio.
Oh, wow. Synchronized audio.
Yeah, the source even dramatically put it as ending the silent era of AI video, which, it's a pretty big step if it works well.
Yeah, definitely a big step. Okay, so we've got huge investments, industrial robots, cutting-edge AI models. Let's shift gears a bit. How is this tech showing up in, like, our everyday lives? Shopping, for instance.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get really tangible for you, the user. Amazon is apparently testing AI-generated audio summaries for some products.
Audio summaries. You mean instead of reading the description?
Sort of, yeah. The sources say it features two AI hosts, kind of like us maybe, discussing the product's key features, pulling info from reviews, other online stuff.
Two AI hosts. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you access it?
There's apparently a Hear the Highlights button under the product listing in the app, but only for certain items right now. It's a test.
Why do this? Just for convenience?
That seems to be the main angle. Making product research easier, especially if you prefer listening over reading. Maybe useful for, more considered purchases.
Right. Like turning the product page into a little mini podcast.
That's exactly how the source described it. Mini podcasts for products. It's kind of wild using AI audio interactively like that for shopping.
It really is. But not everyone's thrilled about AI spread. There's definitely some friction, particularly around copyright. We saw that clash in the UK.
Oh, yeah. This really gets to the heart of the tension between tech progress and, creators' rights. Elton John is apparently very strongly against proposed changes to UK copyright law.
What's the proposal that's got him so worked up?
The issue is whether AI companies should be allowed to use copyrighted stuff, songs, art, books, whatever, to train their AI models without getting permission or paying for licenses.
So using existing creative work as training fuel. And Elton John's reaction was pretty strong.
Extremely strong, based on the quotes. The sources say he called officials considering it absolute losers and described the potential change itself as a criminal offense.
Criminal offense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's his main worry?
It seems to be the impact on young artists. The idea that their work could be ingested by AI, potentially without payment or consent, to build systems that might then replace them or devalue their work, it hits their income, their legacy.
Yeah, you can see the concern there. What's the government actually considering, according to the sources? Are they definitely going that way?
It sounds like they're still reviewing options. It could range from keeping things as they are, meaning licenses likely needed, or moving towards allowing more access, maybe with creators having to actively opt out if they don't want their work used.
So the status quo versus an opt-out system or something else entirely, it really just boils down to that fundamental conflict, right? AI needs data. Creators need protection.
Exactly. It's a huge balancing act, and the sources frame it as a major point of tension for both tech and creative industries worldwide.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered some big themes. Were there any other sort of quick hits or interesting developments in the material we looked at?
There were a couple other things. Shopify apparently has an AI store builder now.
Oh, yeah. What did that do?
Lets you create a whole e-commerce website just using simple text prompts, according to the source. Could make setting up online stores much easier for people.
An entire store from a prompt. That's pretty wild. Anything else?
There was also a note about a specific opportunity for businesses in the UAE, mentioned exploring AI automation, specifically something called agentic AI.
Agentic AI, meaning
AI that can act more autonomously to get things done. The source mentioned using it for tasks like building lead lists, doing custom outreach, sales coaching, updating CRMs, business process stuff.
automating sales and marketing tasks. Got it.
Yeah, and the source material also mentioned, interestingly, a free AED 25,000, that's UAE dirhams launch package, being offered to some businesses looking into this. Just info found in the sources we reviewed.
Fair enough. So quite a range we've covered then. It feels like AI is just moving incredibly fast on all fronts.
Absolutely. From, that massive $6.5 billion OpenAI deal and Kurzweil's industrial robots.
To Google pushing the limits with Gemini diffusion models, even that synchronized video audio thing.
And then seeing it pop up in places like Amazon shopping summaries, those mini podcasts.
Yeah, bringing it right into our daily routines. While at the same time, These huge societal debates, like the copyright battle Elton John is involved in, are really taking shape.
It just highlights how AI isn't just a tech story anymore. It's weaving into industry, creativity, commerce, regulation, everything.
It really is integrating incredibly quickly and broadly.
A very dynamic situation, to put it mildly.
So, given everything we've just talked about, the sheer speed of development, the incredibly diverse applications from factories to shopping carts, here's something to think about. How do you think we, as a society, will manage that balance? The balance between encouraging this rapid innovation, putting in place thoughtful regulation, and making sure we protect human creativity. And maybe more personally, what does all this mean for how you'll end up interacting with technology, maybe even sooner than you think?